Good morning, SMP Nation. How are we feeling? Welcome to Takeover Tuesday. I am so excited for today's episode and just to hang out with you guys today. It's our routine now. We're all hanging out. And I was looking at the comments early this morning, and is there a birthday today? Is it Miss Roxanne Sexton's birthday today? I saw the comments and I just wanted to see. I didn't see her comment. So if you're here, Roxanne, happy birthday from me and SMP Nation and everyone here at Sewing Machines Plus. We hope you have an amazing day. And if you're here, thanks for hanging out with us on your birthday. It's so awesome. I'm so excited. And I love that everyone's on here today. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Let's say hi to some of you guys. We have got, Deb saw our question of the day. Did you guys see this? Oh, I'm pointing the wrong way. So I kind of had a little fun idea of each week, I'm going to put just a new little question right here on the side and you guys can answer. It just kind of makes it, I just love hearing what you guys like and what products you guys like to use. It really helps me when figuring out, what kind of topics we want to talk about so that way you guys can relate to them. So if you guys want to answer, go ahead. My favorite. So obviously the question here is, what is your favorite embroidery thread? I have a little machine and some, goodies over here set up. I'd have to say Exquisite, the dime Exquisite thread or Floriani embroidery thread. Those are the ones that I tend to reach for the most, but I have tried so many different threads that I love. Wonderfill, of course, has some great threads. Let's think of some other ones. Aurifil, of course, but that's really more sewing and quilting, I guess, kind of in a way. Sulky, Sulame said her favorite thread is Sulky. Christine said Floriani. See, I love hearing your guys' thoughts and what you guys like to use. Glide from Carol Lombardi. That one's a good one too. I haven't tried that one too much. Sulky or Isacord. I love it. I'm seeing a lot of dime though. They're my favorite. Deb said she has to get me some Kingstar Metallic. Yes, I love sparkly thread. When I used to work at the San Marcos store, our retail store, I loved looking at all the different threads and seeing all the different colors. It's actually funny because we were just doing inventory over the weekend and me and Jean, who's in customer service, were counting thread and we were laughing because some of the names are so funny. Like we were just like, okay, we're checking this color and like some of just the names were so fun to look at. I don't know why it was so entertaining and it made counting the threads for inventory way more fun. So that is awesome. But what are you guys up to this week? What projects are you guys working on? Let me know. Since I have a little machine going over there, I've been swapping out machines. Like we had, I was using the Flare for a little bit, the Baby Lock Flare. Such a good machine. Let me tell you guys, it's so amazing with that 6x10 hoop. You really have so much room to create a lot. And then just yesterday, I switched over to the Brother NQ3700D. And let me tell you guys, I'm already having so much fun. I'll show you one thing that I made. It is still in the hoop right here. But look, it's little Winnie the Pooh. So cute. When it was finished, I wouldn't show it everyone because I just could not get over how adorable it is. I love it so much. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos coming soon because this is so much fun to create and it just gets me back into loving embroidery. It's so much fun. Like this, we have some plans coming up. I'll have to show you guys on our next show if we get them done. But Kyle's got a hat here that we're going to embroider on. Yep. We've got some clothes. Lorena, who's also in customer service, brought over some clothes for her little children. So we're going to make some stuff. Just so much exciting stuff coming, and I'm having a lot of fun. Maybe one day down the road, I will do a Takeover Tuesday myself. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how much. I don't know if I can do it, but we might get there. We might do it soon. But Wolfgeist, I just saw your comment. Don't look now. Kennedy, there's a snake behind you. Do you like it, Miss Jo? Do you like it? I put it up, and I tried to put it up as best as I could without messing it up or too much, but I don't know. I like it. My little friend. And we've got pockets. I just love my little setup. I love all my little friends on my desk. But let's talk a little bit more about what is going on today and what we have in store for you the rest of the week. Now, if you follow us on our social medias, you might have seen a little video. Oh my gosh, I should have loaded it onto the stream. I could have showed you guys today. Oh, well, go to our Facebook once the show is over and go watch the most recent video that we posted. It is a little teaser as to what's to come for this Thursday show. And let's just say, Linda Brooks said, "Where's Bob and Bear?" He's right over there. I will go get him in a little bit. But Fabric Palooza, this Thursday, 10 a.m. PST, you will be able to buy some of our best-selling and our favorite fabrics that we've had in our retail stores live during the show and online. So you can get them shipped right to you, and you can see all the fabrics on the show where we have a whole, let me give you guys a sneak peek actually. Right down here, you can't see, actually the question of the day is covering it, but I'll just give you guys a couple little sneak peeks. There's one. There's another one. There we go. I don't know if I was supposed to do that, but you got a little sneak peek. There you go. And you'll be able to get all of these different fabrics online, and they are so nice. Arnell asked, will there be any knit fabric? I don't think so. I think this is mainly going to be just our quilting fabrics and cotton fabrics. But I will get back to you on that. I will look and investigate further. But we have got so many fabrics, you guys. There is a whole pile right here, and Kyle is working tirelessly, right, Kyle? Yeah. To get these all numbered and organized, so that way you guys will have an easy time just looking at a fabric. If you like it, go to SMP Live. They're all going to be numbered, and you can just click buy, and you'll have your fabric right there so you can start making projects. But I just do have to say, if you do buy any fabric this Thursday, this is just a little prep. Please, whatever you create, take pictures, and you can put them in the SMP Nation Facebook group. You can tag us, but that would be amazing if you guys made some projects with those fabrics. We would love to see. So just take pictures, make some projects, get inspired. It's just going to be so much fun to shop. This is like the first time that we're doing a show in this style. So we are all very excited, and we can't wait for you guys to join us. It's going to be great. And just go watch that video on Facebook. I'm telling you, it will, you'll enjoy it. It's entertaining. Just, that's all I'm going to say. Go look on our Facebook and you'll see. But next, after this week, our next Takeover Tuesday, we are going to be having Miss Clarissa Gossett on the show. She is taken over. She is from RNK, and we are going to be talking all about applique. So all the essentials that you might need to get started with applique, the basics, all the information that you will need to get started, we're going to go over and talk about. Also, because I want to learn how to do applique, and Clarissa is so talented, and her advice and her education is just chef's kiss. So can't wait to have her on. We have been planning it over the past couple of days, and I'm so excited. We have a lot of good guests coming on over the next, we have February and March, pretty much almost fully March, all scheduled. And I'm so excited for what's to come on Takeover Tuesday. We have so many fun people coming on and just really exciting things. And I didn't know this, but Valentine's Day lands on a Tuesday. So we're going to be doing a very special Valentine's Day Takeover Tuesday. And I hope you will join us, because it's going to be so much fun. And we're just going to live it up on Valentine's Day. Wherever you are, you can join in and make something fun with us. Maybe we'll do like I don't know. I want to get you guys more involved. So maybe we can do something like a project so long type of thing, because I know that you guys have been asking for that for a while. So we'll see what we can do. I want to try and make it as fun as possible on Valentine's Day, because why not? It's Valentine's Day. All right, you guys. Well, I think that is all the current updates I have. Oh, besides Quilt Fest, mark your calendars, you guys. March 13th through the 17th, Quilt Fest is back, and start working on your quilts so that way we can get our little competition going, our little, what's it called? I keep thinking competition or contest. There we go. Start working on your quilts, and we want to see them, and it's coming up so fast. Before we know it, it's going to be March, and it's just craziness. You guys, time is going by too fast, and I just can't do it. We need to put a petition to make time go just a little bit slower. Just a little bit. All right, you guys. Let's talk about today. So at the beginning of this year, we did quite a bit of videos about serging. And so we kind of went over a lot of the basics and all that type of thing. And then this time, kind of over the next few weeks, it kind of happened accidentally. We're going to be going more into embroidery. So I think after that, we'll go more into quilting. And then after that, we'll just hit a couple different segments and a couple different topics and kind of cover them really well. So you guys are educated and inspired and motivated to make some amazing projects. But today, we're going to be talking about something a little bit different than what you might be used to, and that is bobbin work. And we covered this with Joanne Banco back a while ago, and she just had such an amazing technique and so wonderful. So we're going to take a deeper look into bobbin work today. But bobbin work, Deb explained this really well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find her comment, but she commented this before the show. Deb, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to try and quote you. I'm going to find the comment really quick because I really liked what she said. Hang on, just 1 second. I'm almost there. So bobbin work lets us use fancy threads on our sewing machines, and you can pick thick threads, ribbon, yarn. You can put anything really that's more decorative in your bobbin, and it stitches a little bit differently to get you more decorative effects and more, what's the word? It just really steps up your embroidery, especially with using thicker threads and things like that. You're really able to create these really beautiful designs, and I love it so much. Once I found out about it, I've been really, really wanting to try it. I just get scared. So maybe after today's video and watching it, I'll be a little bit more comfortable and I'll update you guys. Maybe we'll try it soon and see how it goes, because I need to expand. So if you guys have any ideas of things that I can do as well, let me know. I love listening to you guys. You guys are all so talented when it comes to your projects as well. I mean, if you guys are in our SMP Nation Facebook group, you see all the talent. Deb, I hope I did justice with that little explanation about bobbin work. Deb she knows everything about sewing, so she's my go-to when it comes to asking questions about projects and things like that. So hope we did good. All right, you guys. Well, I think that's all I have today. Can you guys tell I had coffee this morning? I'm just a little bit up today. Deb said, great job. Good. All right. So let's go ahead and look into this bobbin work because I love it. And you'll see why, and you'll love it too. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I will be back. If you guys haven't answered the question of the day, answer it. I want to know what your favorite embroidery thread is. And I will be back in just a bit to do some giveaways and talk more with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started, and I will be right back. Alrighty.
Start again by talking a little bit about the threads. So I've got a few different examples here. You saw the yarn, and I'm going to try to see if this has a number on it. I don't see a number on it, but it is definitely labeled as super fine yarn, and it is very, very thin. I've got my example of my decorative serger thread called Candlelight Metallic. I've got some just, who knows where it came from, novelty yarn that came on a spool. So again, check the areas where you find hand embroidery threads and see what you see there on the shelf, and see if it's suitable. What you're noticing so far, hopefully, I'll show you the next one here. I think this is called Razzle Dazzle. If you take a look at all of the threads that I'm showing so far, they're all consistently the same width. So that's number one principle that you want to look for. You can't have a slubby type thread. It needs to be perfectly even and perfectly smooth so that it is able to go through the adjusted bobbin case. So that's number one. Now this one has just a little bit of texture, but again, if you look at it, it has consistently the same, the same thickness to the thread. So there's no worries as far as it going through and getting caught anywhere. Same thing with the yarn. Now another yarn thread that is very commonly available is crochet thread. If you crochet, you probably have a lot of this already and maybe never have thought to use this in your sewing machine, but you absolutely can as long as it goes in the bobbin. And then you saw me with the pearl cotton. I don't know where that, there it is, my tangled mess of pearl cotton. Don't do as I say and not as I've done. Make sure that when you unravel this, you unravel it the way it should be, so you're not getting anything all tangled up. I'm kind of bad at that with pearl cotton. But I would recommend, if you want to start, that you go ahead and get yourself some pearl cotton to start with. If you have some of these other things on hand, fine, that's good too. But if you have nothing and you're starting from scratch, try to get just some ordinary pearl cotton and use that for your first attempt, because it is virtually foolproof. And again, it's even consistency, very smooth. And any of these threads that have a little bit of gloss and glisten to them tend to, you know, have even a little bit more splash to them. All right, so let's talk about bobbin. Now, I promise you, you can do this, bobbin case rather. I promise you, you can do this with any machine. You saw my little sample here, done on a inexpensive old mechanical machine. But if you have the opportunity and you have a brother machine that is compatible with the bobbin work kit, or you have a bobbin case that already came with it, there are machines that in the brother line that already came with this bobbin case. This bobbin case is very distinctive. It is colored gray instead of black like your traditional bobbin case. It also comes with a screwdriver that tells you right away you are going to be playing around with this screw. So you can't be shy of that. You have to realize that in order to perfect your bobbin work, you are going to be playing around with the screw. But the bobbin case itself has already been pre-adjusted. Unlike a standard bobbin case, it's been pre-adjusted to accommodate the thicker thread that you would use in bobbin work. So your first step, if you don't have this opportunity, is to go out and just get yourself a secondary bobbin case. Whatever type of bobbin case your machine uses, get that secondary bobbin case, and then I will give you some tips on how to adjust it so that you can use the thicker thread. Now, we're all used to winding bobbins on our machine with standard ordinary thread, and we use the bobbin winder. I'm going to tell you that the safest way to do this is to wind by hand, although I will tell you that I have taken cones like this and I have put them on my standard bobbin winder, set my bobbin winder at a very slow speed, and stood there with the thread as it wound off. I bypassed the tension on my bobbin winder so that it wouldn't be squeezing the thread, and it just loosely went onto the bobbin nice and even. So you could try that, but just be really careful when you do that, because it requires you to wind that bobbin very evenly, very smoothly, and very slowly. And it's not a good idea to do that with something like this or like this, because how in the world are you going to hold that on the bobbin winder at the same time that it's winding? So I'm going to show you first off how to wind that by hand. So I'm just going to take a blank bobbin, my little package of blank bobbins, and I'm going to do it with the crochet cotton. Okay. And what you want to start by doing is taking your bobbin and locating the little hole that is there. That hole, we, on a lot of machines, we have to feed that through the hole, but a lot of our new bobbin winders don't require that. I want to get that up through there. That right into there. And sometimes that part is a little bit tricky. If you have dental floss threaders, I didn't bring any handy here today, but if you have a dental floss threader, that can work for you to get that thread fed up through that hole. Get that in there, okay, just like that. So you want to get that up through the hole. You want to hold onto that tail. I usually just put my finger on it, and then you want to hold the bobbin and you want to wrap the thread going away from you, just like this. So just nice and smooth, not tight, not loose, just a nice, consistent winding right around that bobbin. Now, while I'm doing this, I will tell you that when you do bobbin work and you do very many different rows of it, you are going to run out of bobbin thread pretty quick. So keep that in mind. Again, I tend to like to do use bobbin work on shorter areas, because if my bobbin thread runs out, I'm going to have to stop and I'm going to have to tie off that thread. And that can be a little bit tricky with decorative stitches because we don't want to have it stop at a half of a pattern. So kind of keep that in mind. You're better off doing this in short rows. I'm going to go ahead and pretty much fill this up. I don't want to overfill it, but I'm going to fill it as if it was a regular bobbin full of thread. Okay. Don't be concerned if you're just a little bit crossing over there. It's okay, because the way this is designed to work, it's not meant to come out of the bobbin case with full normal tension. So it's not going to be as critical for you to have a real even and smooth bobbin. So once I'm done, I can clip that thread, and then I'm going to clip this tail that I fed through the top very, very close. So the only reason I really needed that was to get my thread started. Without that little tail, I really have no control over winding that thread. So I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to show you just another sample here so you can get an idea of what kind of stitches you would use for bobbin work. Now, you certainly can use a straight stitch. In fact, I'm going to start with a straight stitch so that you can see how the thread should be adjusted and what kind of tension adjustments we need to make to both the bobbin case and the upper thread that we're using. But if you notice, all of these stitches are very open. I have no satin stitches and I have no decorative stitches that are close and tight together. So that's another principle that you want to follow. Be sure when you test out bobbin work that you only use stitches that have a relatively open characteristic to them. And then I also like to increase my stitch length, usually by one little beep on the screen or two beeps on the screen. It will change the look slightly, but because your thread is thicker, it's going to give more room for your thread to move across that area and not get jammed up anywhere. So there you go. Again, you can see the effect of these decorative stitches. Now you could also do what I did on the sachet, which is stitch a decorative stitch and leave yourself a tail and then move over to another spot, and we'll deal with these tails later. I'll show you how to do that as well. But that allows you to create like individual little motifs with the decorative stitches. All right, so let's talk about getting that bobbin case in. Now, you're going to have to open your throat plate. So I'm a little bit spoiled here. I'm working with the Brother Luminaire, which has the ability for me to simply pop this little lever and my bobbin case cover pops right off. Now, my machine actually is hollering at me right now. We all know that little, little smiley or sad face that comes up and tells us if the machine is happy or not happy. But it doesn't really want me to do this with the machine on. I'm going to disobey my machine today and plow ahead. That's just a safety feature. But I'm going to need to lift this off. So if you didn't have this feature, you would be taking off this half of the throat plate. You'd be taking off that piece so that you would have access to the front area where your bobbin case actually sets in. You need to be able to reach in there and remove your existing bobbin case. Now, this is a great time to clean out the fuzzies. So if you haven't done that for a while, get your little lint brush out and maybe a little vacuum cleaner nozzle and swipe that away. Now, if you do have the type of throat plate that requires screws, the first thing you want to do is take those screws and put them in a very safe place, because I don't want you taking those up with your vacuum cleaner or losing them. You don't want that to happen. But I'm going to need to leave that open, free and clear, so that I can put in my secondary bobbin case. Now, again, this is going to require a little bit of testing. I've already done some work with this bobbin case, so it's probably going to be pretty well adjusted. But once we put it in, I'm going to show you the principle of how the thread should move out of the actual bobbin case. Now, if you haven't done this before, you want to be very careful. You want to make sure that your bobbin case is sitting perfectly flat in the machine. And most machines are going to have a little arrow and a little dot where you line those two up. I don't know how good you can see that, but I have a little white dot here and I have a little white arrow here. And you want to make sure those are matching. So those match, the bobbin case is flat. And then the other thing you're going to notice is if your bobbin case is in and you're using the top loading, if it's in properly, it should have a little bit of a wiggle to it. Now, if you're using a front load bobbin case, you put it in the same way you normally would. No difference there. But this is a whole lot easier with top loading. And I think probably the vast majority of everybody watching today has a machine now with a top loading bobbin case. So now I'm ready to put my cover back on. Okay, and then I like to just take the hand wheel. I've already got my needle threaded, so I'm going to hold on to that. And just do one full turn by hand, because if you've maybe haven't gotten that in properly, you're going to notice now that things are not running smoothly, but everything is running perfectly smooth. So let's talk about what we put in the top. I've just got a standard ordinary sewing thread in the top, and I've got just a regular embroidery needle in the bottom, because I'm going to be doing embroidery stitching. That's normally for embroidery threads. You could also use your decorative embroidery thread in your needle. You can also experiment with the clear monofilament type of thread if you want to. But what I want to do when I'm doing this for real is I want to match my needle thread to whatever bobbin embellishment thread that I'm using. I'm purposefully using a contrast today, but if you use the same color thread in your needle as you have for the decorative bobbin thread, you will have a more smooth, consistent look to your stitch. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that bobbin that I wound with Pearl Crown Rayon, and I'm going to insert it just like I would normally. When you're using this type of bobbin case that is already pre-adjusted for thicker thread, you're going to go ahead and go through the tension. Now, some of you may have experienced bobbin work before, and you may have seen some instructions tell you to bypass the bobbin case. That is an option. However, your stitches are much looser and less consistent when you bypass the bobbin tension. So my preference is to actually put it through the tension and then simply do any adjustments to the tension on the bobbin case to give me that consistency for whatever I need. But that just gives you a little bit more control. So I'm going to go ahead, put it right through the tension like I normally would. I'm going to go through as if I were doing the cutter, except I'm not going to cut. So if you have the brother system like this, normally we would swipe the thread here and trim it off. I'm going to leave that tail there. I'm going to put my bobbin case cover back on. And by the way, I've got on my specialty bobbin case cover that has markings on it for lining things up. But the main thing you want to see is that the bobbin case cover that comes as a package with the bobbin work, optional bobbin work kit, and most of our newer bobbin cases, the cover for that has little notches on it. So if you see, I'm just putting my fingernail on there. They're little raised edges. Older bobbin case covers were perfectly flat, and they found that when doing bobbin work, the bobbin needed just a little bit more pressure held down because it was a thicker thread. So pretty much most of the newer ones are like this, where it has these little notches or little nubbies kind of that will hold that bobbin case down just a little bit tighter. If you purchase the bobbin work kit, it will come with a separate cover for you to use that. It's not essential, but let's just say it's helpful. All right, so now I'm just going to use my needle up, needle down, send the needle down, send the needle up, and pull that thread up. Now, here's where you really are going to have to use a little bit of common sense and judgment for adjusting the tension just to get you started. But when I pull on this thread, it should pull very, very, very easily. We're all kind of used to feeling a little bit of tension on our thread when it's in the, normal thread, normal tension. But watch how I pull this, how effortless this is. I'm not having to struggle. It's not tight. It's kind of like Goldilocks porridge. It's not really tight, but it's not really loose. It is just freely moving out of the machine. Now, I've already kind of used up a lot of that thread, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to take this bobbin out, and I'm going to rewind that just so that I have more thread on there, because I don't want to lose any of that thread. And then you can see me again, put it right through the tension, all the way through. And if you do cut it, no worries. You'll just have a little bit of a shorter tail. We like to leave a longer tail for bobbin work because we're going to need to tie off that tail at the end. So again, I'm going to pull it down and up. Pull that up. And now I'm going to go ahead and snap on my decorative stitch presser foot. And hopefully if you have any pressing questions, we can get those answered at the end here, because I'm not able to really watch all your comments while I'm doing this. And by the way, if you have the type of bobbin case cover that requires you to use the screws and unscrew that plate, you will do yourself a big favor and get this little gizmo here, the specialty screwdriver, because that allows you to get into those screws in those short areas. It can also be used then to use your needle or your foot here, and then flipped around one more time. This will work on your embroidery hoops. And Lady Fair, I'm using just standard, ordinary sewing thread, but you could use embroidery decorative thread. You could also experiment with monofilament thread if you like. All right, so I've just taken my fabric, and what I've done is I've stabilized it with iron-on tearaway stabilizer. You could use other stabilizers, but think of this in the same way you would think of doing embroidery. You always stabilize your fabric to beef it up so that during the stitching, you have some extra body. Now, once I'm done with this, my decorative stitching isn't heavy or thick or dense like embroidery is, so I can completely remove this stabilizer. So I like an iron-on tearaway, a regular tearaway, or a wash away, something that I can get rid of when I'm finished. When I did that little baby hat, I used a adhesive backed wash away stabilizer so that when I was done with that hat, I could throw it into the wash and everything would dissolve away. All right, so now remember, we're stitching upside down. All of the beauty is going to be on the bobbin side of the machine. So our right side needs to face where the bobbin is. The other beauty of this is that you can take and draw whatever lines you want to make. So you saw some examples of my embroidery work done with bobbin work. Well, I have made lots and lots and lots of samples in years past where I maybe drew a flower on the back of my fabric, or drew leaves, or drew a motif or a shape. And then I stitched my bobbin work just by straight stitching along that area And when I turned it to the right side, it really mimicked exactly what I had with that embroidery work, because those are just simple shapes done with straight stitches. All right, so I'm going to start with a straight stitch, and I'm going to increase the length to about 4. This is what I recommend you do to start off to see if you need to change the tension on your bobbin case. All right, and get my foot control into place here. It always slips under the table on me and I can't find it. And I'm going to take the first stitch just slowly, very slowly. Okay, now when you get to the end of any bobbin work, you want to stop, raise your presser foot, and you do not want to use the cutter, okay? If you have to put a piece of tape over that cutter to prevent you from doing that, do it. Whatever you need to do, make sure that you don't cut that thread, because your automatic thread cutter is designed to automatically cut ordinary thickness of thread, not heavy thread. And I don't know what could happen if you do that. So make sure you don't use your thread cutter. All right, I'm going to pull this out. And I always want to leave a tail. And I'm going to take a look at that. And that is pretty good. But if you could see it really close, you would notice that I'm seeing a little bit of my needle thread. Now, if that was the same color, it would pretty much blend. And I really wouldn't need to worry about that. But if I'm seeing a little bit too much of my needle thread color, what that means is I want to increase my tension. So for most bobbin work, I will increase my tension starting at about 2 numbers higher than normal. So normal for my machine is 4. I'm increasing that to 6. And this time we'll go ahead and we'll choose a feather stitch, which is another recommendation for the most forgiving decorative stitch you could possibly pick. Bring my sample back up here so you can see it. This is done with a feather stitch. You can do a feather stitch with almost any bobbin work thread you can think of, and it will virtually always come out beautiful. Now we could change size of our decorative stitch as far as, width, but I recommend that in most cases, you're going to want to leave it at the maximum width and then increase the stitch length. So my normal stitch length for this particular stitch is 2.5. I'm going to increase that. Again, like I said, I usually hit the button twice, hit the key twice. I'm increasing it to 3.5. So I've got my tension now on 6. My stitch width on 7, and my stitch length on 3.5. Now you want to, again, use those stitches that are more open because they're going to need a little bit of room for that decorative thread to flow. And let's take a look at that and see that. Again, I can see just a little bit of that blue, but with matching thread in there, that would work just perfect. If my decorative thread looks too tight, it means I want to take that bobbin case out. I'll use this one as an example because this is the one we know we don't touch. But if that thread looks a little too tight, I'm going to use my screwdriver and I'm going to turn the bobbin case screw a half a turn at a time. So just watch where it's at. I would turn it so it would go all the way 1/2 turn and then try it again. If my thread looks loose and sloppy, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to take that screw and I'm going to turn it to the right 1 full turn. So left is loose, right is tight. We all know that. And then I'm going to test it again to see what it's going to look like. So you can see you're going to do definite testing. That's why I recommend starting off with an inexpensive thread and scraps of fabric so that you can just see what kind of effects you get. And then you're also going to need to test for every time you change your thread. You may find that you've got pretty much the same thickness of thread every time, and you won't have to mess with those tensions at all. But that's as simple as it is. with decorative stitches. Feel free to explore, experiment with all of those decorative stitches that have that open style. I like to increase the stitch width as much as possible if it's not already to that size. And then I like to increase the stitch length and increase my upper tension just a little bit to give that nice smooth look. So now when we're done, what we're going to need to do is bring this top decorative thread to now what is our wrong side. And usually you can do that by just pulling on your needle thread, and you'll get a little loop, and you can pull on that loop. Now, if you can't do that, if your thread is too, too tough to get through to the other side, or your fabric is a little thicker, then what you want to do is just get a large-eyed needle and poke that needle through. I don't have one handy, but if you have a large-eyed needle, you can poke it through your fabric till it comes out the back side, and then thread the eye of that needle with the tail of thread and pull it through. I like to poke my needle through before I thread the eye because it just seems easier to me. But once we pull that to the wrong side, we're going to now hand tie this in a knot. And I like to hand tie this usually 3 or 4 times. Just, not too tight, not too loose, just so that you're able to anchor that thread and tie it off. And then the last thing I will do is use some sort of seam sealant to just give that a little bit more security, because some of these threads are quite slippery. And even though I'm tying them off in a knot, they may tend to want to unwind from themselves. So I use just, fray check, seam sealant. You can get all of that at Sewing Machines Plus. Give that just a little dab. Be very careful. You don't want it to soak through your fabric. And if you're not sure if it's going to harm what you have there, then go ahead and test that seam sealant in an inconspicuous spot before you do this. But once you're done with that, you can clip those tails. We would go back, we would do the same thing in the beginning end. So I don't think I mentioned this, but you also do not want to do an automatic tie off with this stitch. So the 2 things on your machine that you're going to remember most are don't use automatic tie off and don't use the automatic cutter. Neither one of those options are good to use with bobbin work. There you go, there again. And when we look at it from the right side, I've got a beautiful, beautiful finish. So let me pop back over and see if you have any questions for me.
All right, you guys. I went ahead and popped in, but I just want to let you know, Joanne is here with us. This was back from a little while ago, a video that we did a few months ago about, it's all about beautiful bobbin work, stitchery and all of that. But Joanne is here in the comments chatting and answering any of you guys' questions that you have. So if you didn't see that, go back and look at some of her answers, because she's just the best. She's just the best. I'm telling you. But Joanne, hello. I'm going to show you this really quick again. So I've been working a lot on an embroidery machine, and look what I did. I'm improving. I was very proud of myself when I did this. You got to start from somewhere, you guys. But I saw a lot of questions, and Deb also answered quite a few. Let me see where I can get comments here so I can see what you guys are saying. But she had some really good advice as well. So the comments are always a great place to look if you're watching these. You can always go back and rewatch the live chat as well. But just another great place that you can see more tips and techniques. And I know I saw a lot of comments saying that this might have been a more advanced technique, that you might not be able to do it. But a great way to try it is on maybe like a smaller project where you just want to finish into a couple decorative stitches. Nothing crazy, like no borders or anything, but it's a great way to just try out that technique. So that way you can see it, in a project on something completed. But don't push yourself to, don't push yourself to try and do this whole project with this bobbin work when all you have to do is just try a little. Or I saw Celeste Wall put a comment up where when she does test stitches, she always writes in permanent marker the settings and, you know, any specifics of that stitch so that way she can keep it forever. So try that. Exactly. Ooh, Joanne said a notebook cover is a fun first project. Exactly. Like you could try something small and, you know, just see if you like it, see how, you know, you work with it. And I guarantee you might like it because it just, it steps up your project so well. And it's great. Stitch book. Exactly. You guys. Tote bag. You guys are coming up with the greatest ideas. So I love it. I think you guys got it. Zipper bags, exactly. Sorry, I'm looking at all your guys' comments. I'm so intrigued at what you guys are saying. Crazy quilt, exactly. Like there's so much you can do. And keychain, pillows, you guys. This is giving me so much inspiration. Bookmarks, exactly. You guys are on it. But yeah, this was just a great little intro as to what bobbin work is. And there's obviously so many more things you can do. You know, sewing is a very open field when it comes to techniques and, you know, things like that. Michelle, I saw that it said you missed the beginning. You can go back and rewatch now, or once the video is over, you can rewatch the whole thing once it's uploaded onto YouTube. Just an FYI for the people watching later. Hello. But yeah, just a great little fun technique because I feel like, you know, sometimes we stick to just doing decorative stitches with the needle when there's so many other ways that you can get decorative stitches and have it be unique and different and fun. So, and that's why we love Joanne, because she's always coming up with the best types of fun projects and just ways to keep it interesting while also kind of getting more advanced, because you want to try new things, you want to expand your knowledge, and it's just great. We love it. All right, you guys, what did you think? I had so much fun. I'm still processing this because I've loved all your ideas. I'm like, a notebook, a bookmark. I could use all of these things. So it's great. But Joanne is great. We'll definitely, I'm sure she's still watching. We have to get you on a show soon, Joanne. I'll be reaching out to you. But with that, yeah, let's stay motivated and do some giveaways, shall we? I think so. I think I'm going to. I don't care if you guys don't want to or not. I think you guys want me to. It's okay. Let's get some music going. Let's get to our giveaways. All right. First up is our iconic sew mats from us at Sewing Machines Plus. These are amazing. We love them so much. And we have all the different colors running across the screen there. So we've got tons of new ones. And we also have our leopard print coming soon. And I just want to give you guys a little update. They are coming very soon. We are waiting to get them in. We got all of our samples about maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago when we made the videos and kind of announced it. And we just really wanted to be sure that we liked the design. We liked everything about it because we care about SMP Nation. So we want to give you guys the best mat, but we came to a decision and they are coming soon. So we will have more info to come. I honestly think they might be even on the way. So I'll update you guys. We'll let you know on our social medias when you guys can get them. But let's go ahead and see who is going to win their very own sew mat. And let's see. And you can pick any color you want, any size you want. So if you have a small Singer up to a Baby Lock or Brother top of the line machine, you can get a sew mat. They're great. All right. Let's see. Let's spin to win. Alrighty. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Pretty Bird Ben L. Peacock. Congratulations. You have just won a brand new sew mat. Go ahead and head to smplab.tv to claim your prize. Put all your info down below. We will get that shipped out to you. Paula, I just saw your comment. What happened if you never received your prize? Email us at info@SewingMachinesPlus and we can look into that for you. Let us know, okay? Let us know. All right. Let's go ahead and see what is next. All right. Of course, I have to throw in a $100 gift card because after today's show, I know you guys might be getting excited about some threads, or maybe you guys want to try and get a new bobbin case to try out some of this bobbin work. So you might just get $100 to go shopping at S&P. So let's go ahead and spin and see who's gonna win. Let's do it. Sasquatch kit. Congratulations. We've never had Sasquatch win before. Congratulations. You have just won a $100 S&P gift card. So go ahead and head right down below on the little ticker right here running across the screen. Head to SewingMachinesPlus.com to claim your prize. We will get that out to you via email and you can get shopping. All right. I think next I'm going to throw in a Singer Steam Craft Iron because these are actually amazing. One of the best irons I think I've used, and we gave away quite a few of these during our Countdown to Christmas show, and everybody got them in, and everybody's been saying how much they like them, especially in the S&P Nation Facebook group. Oh my goodness, you guys. You guys have been saying how wonderful they are, and I think irons are very essential. So, and you can use them for so much. So, let's see who's gonna win a brand new iron. I love ironing. I don't know about you guys. I know it can be tedious, but it's very satisfying. Barbara Jones, congratulations, Miss Barbara. Let's go ahead and head to SewingMachinesPlus.com, fill out that information, and we will get that out to you, Barbara. Alrighty. Well, let's see. Alrighty, let's get this taken off. Alright, you guys. Well, I think that is going to be it for today's show, but don't stress. We'll be right back in the studio on Thursday for our Fabric Palooza. Please come and hang out with us. It is going to be so much fun, and I guarantee you there's going to be a fabric that you like, and you'll find something great. You really will, because I'm looking at all this fabric right here, and I'm like, we gotta save this for the show. I can't buy this all. I can't. It's not smart. So you guys will have to come and buy this all for me, and then make something so that I can be happy that it's getting used. Just come on in and you'll find something that you like, I promise. And with all the other dates coming up, there's plenty of ways you can stay updated with us here at SMP. You can sign up for our emails, which is run by Mr. Roger. Oh, I don't think he's here. Oh, he's not here. I should have thought that one through before I said it. Well, it is run by Roger. He's amazing and always is giving you the best deals and fun little things going on at the stores and classes and all that stuff. Yes, Mr. Roger left, Elizabeth. I should have thought about it. I didn't see the top of his head. But he'll be here working on emails to get out to you guys. So if you sign up, you guys can stay in touch. And also, of course, on social media, we're always posting super fun things and also posting deals and all that fun stuff. So let's stay connected and hang out with us. And also, we have a link down below that you can join our SMP Nation Facebook group, so you can stay in touch with not only us, but everybody who watches the shows. And you can see different projects. You can see, oh my gosh, we're almost at 500 members in SMP Nation. And I remember when we had just gotten to 100, and I was so excited. I thought that was so many people, and now we're almost at 500. It's just crazy to me, and it just makes me so happy that we have a little community. It's so great. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to go head off. We're going to go get to planning some more exciting things going on for the future. But I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you oh so soon, Thursday at 10 a.m. PST, and then I'll be right back here, same spot, same chair, same time, same place, with a new guest. All right, you guys, see you very soon. Bye.